Okay, now I'm going to show you the house, like the level inside the Unreal Engine. So okay, this is where, this is the kitchen. This is where we cook the game. This is where we bake everything, like so. And it might still, this is where the magic happens. Like I always enjoy this, like going back and forth with this. It's like, trust me guys, this is more fun than playing games. Anyway, so this is the house, and this is the AI that I've been talking about. Like, yes, this green things, like this is the simplest navigation mesh that we've been using exactly the same way, like since I've been talking about, like since 1999, I first started making Unreal Engine levels. Yeah, I'm that old. I am that old. Since Unreal Engine 1 came out in 1999, we placed like simple apples and pathfinding system. This is a little bit more advanced, but I would expect something much more robust, like much more advanced in all these years, like the technology of lighting and shaders and textures and 3D modeling. Like an average game like in 1999 had like only maybe like 4,000 polygons, and just that simple, that kind of furniture over there is like maybe like 4,000 polygons now. The polygons, the trigonometry, the modeling, lighting, everything improved, but the mentality of AI, how you solve this AI problems, how this AI is chasing you around. And yes, okay, this is our guy. Yeah, I mean, he looks kind of scary even in this, even in the kitchen, Anyhow, so okay, this the green area means that he can walk around, and then we had to put some kind of a simple thing with this. You can see around here like this navigation link proxy. That's like where he stops and checks and he opens the door. So you're not going to feel safe, even when you're hiding somewhere. So yeah, he can walk. That means that he can walk all these green areas, but that doesn't mean that he won't be able to find you if you are even hiding in this area. That means that he can walk. And these are kind of, there's a way to solve all these problems. That means that he can jump over this area, but mostly he won't. That's okay. So any kind of quirks and bugs that you saw is all related to this kind of navigation path network. Like these are the areas that he can walk around. See? So that means that even here, he can just, chase you from door to door and all the way up to the attic, and all the way to the basement. And we had this kind of simple script, but yeah, this is called, basic monster. Let me just show you this as well. It takes some time to, open up the editor. Sorry. Okay. We have a very basic script. Yeah, you can go crazy with this Black Force, but it all comes to this. Like this has this kind of palm sensing. Like this is where it's just the things that didn't improve, in my opinion. Like this palm sensing mentality was there, like even in the earliest game. So when you see some people arguing about the games didn't really improve, it has some kind of truth to it. Like, we have this kind of palm sensing, and this is the whole script. Like it's just not that kind of complicated, Okay, he just on this palm sensing, when he's in range, he just starts, moving towards us, and we have some kind of simple function to play different kind of dialogues. But because when he is walking around, he's just saying random things, which I mentioned earlier about this amazing voice actors. He's talking about his lines in idle voices, but then when he sees the player, he goes like making this clown voice, clown laughter, kind of scary, and then when he reaches a certain this trigger, everything overlaps and he becomes really, aggressive and starts, he produces his knife and starts killing you. And yes, this is all about it. Like, and we have like very simple attributes here, and that's the whole magic behind it. Maybe you will get disappointed when you see behind this, but this is what always fascinated me, to go behind the scenes. That is how I learned game development. Like just, it's like, breaking a toy. First, I started doing it with the first Unreal Engine, like back in 1999. It was so mysterious to me to open up all these levels, which I can show it in another episode, like the first Unreal Engine. Anyhow, and yeah, this is how he chases you around. And we also have this kind of interesting puzzle here, which I mentioned, like we want to do the puzzles, and we have this kind of, I'm gonna mix it. Yeah, we have this kind of arcade where you talk with this mysteriously with your mother. Hopefully she is still your mother. I don't want to spoil the story too much. And it's kind of a very simple, blueprint, which we come back and forth, and it just saves. And this is the whole logic behind it. Like it just switches phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, which means the sub chapters. Like every time you solve a puzzle, you come back here, and the note added to you, and we save the game over there. And your mother, hopefully she's the mother, and because she doesn't look like a mother anyway. So you interact with this arcade, and your mother shows up, and she's trying to help you with the puzzles, to solve the puzzles. So it's, instead of showing some kind of screen hints, we wanted the player to interact with this character, and this character is like coming from some real actor, like a local theater actress. We enjoyed, shooting her scenes on the green screen. And then, yes, that's her. And it was really fun to work with her. And she's also an amazing, talented actress. Let me show you. Okay. Yeah, this is what we shot the green screen and composited it back in Unreal Engine. That's the, just a local actress wearing this kind of cheap mask, but it makes the job. It does the job. And then this is how you interact with her. That's the, and that's it. Like we randomly play this kind of intervals on this arcade, and then we, hear her talking to us, and that's how the logic of updating the objectives becomes interactive. That's how we update the objectives, and in between each task, you have to walk around the house, find some kind of puzzles, and then you just have to solve them to reach this stage, where you have like, you have a kind of a safe puzzle here, you have to solve it. You have some kind of a, yeah, this is kind of interesting. Let me just show you. It is some kind of Game Watch puzzle, which basically you play a character and you try to find some kind of words out of this, like BATES, which is also kind of some kind of a nod, a reference to one of my favorite, I wouldn't say horror, but like a thriller director, Alfred Hitchcock. Maybe younger generations won't know him, maybe just heard him from the documentaries. But Alfred Hitchcock has this kind of very interesting movie, Psycho, which I would recommend if you're into this kind of, classical horror movies, classical thriller movies, which we made the character Joe to be a fan of Alfred Hitchcock works. That's why we have this kind of Norman Bates character in one of his movies, The Psycho. So he made this password with this kind of letters, and you play a simple Game Watch puzzle. Because this clown is not just a clown, just pretends to be a clown, because also he's kind of an interesting background. He's actually an electronic engineer. Maybe that's why he become crazy. So there's some kind of scary thing about engineers. Okay. So yeah, this is like chapter 3. Hopefully you will survive chapter 3. And then after chapter 3, we dive into chapter 4. Now it's like, things will get more frightening in that part, chapter 4, but everything will be more simple. Like it's like rewarding the player. You kind of, you have to solve some kind of classical hard puzzles in chapter 3 and survive the clown chasing you. And then in chapter 4, everything becomes more simple and brutal. So see you around in chapter 4.